All right. Hi, everybody. We are back. I learned something yesterday in our test stream for anybody who was there by accident. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but if you're on a tape delay that's done by YouTube, okay, it's like 5 seconds, but we do the tape delay because then it allows YouTube to do the automatic captions, right? Yes, so that's why we do it. Anyway, but I just assumed that whatever the interactions that I have with OBS, which is how we stream, are they just go. It's just similarly delayed. Apparently, I found out that it stops it when I stop it and doesn't keep going for the extra few seconds. So yesterday, apparently, Jessie said, "Stay grammar," and she said it, and I waited a second, and I pressed stop, but apparently it cut her off right after the word stay. And
Actually, it cut me off in the stay, because I watched it at the end, and I'm like, and it's just gone.
Oh, that's even worse. That's even worse. I really apologize for that. So I will make sure to wait a little bit now, and then press stop. And then
so
Jessie,
at the end, we'll both be just smiling.
Yeah. And then Jessie, do you want to go ahead since you were so cruelly cut off by me yesterday?
Oh, go ahead with. Well, first of all, if you missed yesterday's live stream. We finally enabled Super Chat, which is something that people had asked about way back in our very first episode. And we had said we would definitely look into it and figure that out. So we have, and it is now enabled. And so you can see that as an option only for people who want to have a pinned comment or, which is apparently at the $5 limit. We also found that out. Or if you really want to use it. Otherwise, we will, no matter what, be monitoring the live chat stream and be commenting along too. So that's just for anybody who knows it, wants to use it, and is interested in doing that. And that was what we had tested out yesterday for the first time. So that was exciting.
And, I was, by the way, I was just going to suggest that you say stay grammar.
Oh, you were just going to say, oh, okay, well, that's cool.
But that's also good.
It. Actually, I just need to finish a grammar. The first part was already in there.
That's new Canadian English. The A moved out in front.
A?
It's now a vocative particle. A grammar.
It's this newfangled English.
Oh, man. Okay, so... did we have any other business to discuss?
Well, not business. I'm ready to get into Ingala. If you go to page 23, I'm ready to tell you the results of the poll.
All right.
Right where there's a green highlight.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out how we're going to do that.
Yes.
And it was pretty decisive. Apparently, not too many people like the allative option.
Yeah.
So one option was to say Lushun Luime, which is like literally I saw to the rabbit. That only got 5 votes. So that is not what we're doing. In second place, it came in close, put up a good fight, was actually my favorite, and I was voting for it. And that was the instrumental, which we don't have yet. Eventually we will. But that would have been like I saw with the rabbit. But that one got 17 votes. And then the winner was ablative. Or how do you say it? You say it differently.
Oblative?
Oblative. Yes, I couldn't remember. I say ablative. He says oblative. It's the winner. So we're going to have to agree on a pronunciation or agree to disagree.
Let's call the whole thing off.
And so Lushun Linya Ime, which is literally I saw from the rabbit, so assigning authorship, to the rabbit as the sort of originator of that. So that of the experience. Wow. Thank you, Mateus and Adam.
Stay
Wow.
grammar.
Stay grammar indeed.
Yeah. Prefer to step door.
Doorknobs? Did you take all the doorknobs?
Okay.
Is there a joke I'm missing besides the fact that it's funny to imagine somebody taking all the doorknobs?
Nice. Okay, so I did want to mention something because this is something that came up, and so I believe I'm interpreting the will of the patrons correctly. Originally, instrumental had a really large lead. Then somebody made a suggestion. It may have been Mike Katalinich, but I don't remember for sure. And their suggestion, since we didn't have an instrumental, a preposition used for instrumental, was that we use the ablative preposition also as the instrumental. It would do work for both. And I thought that was a pretty good idea. And I think that was when the voting shifted. A lot of people switched their votes from instrumental to ablative. And I think the reason is because they wanted us to have the ablative double for the instrumental. With that essentially being the sense that lends itself to this. So it's kind of like the instrumental did win.
I was just going to say, that means my option technically won then if we do double up.
Yes.
I'll take that.
So it will be ablative, but we are adding a second sense to the ablative when we add these things to the dictionary, because I don't think we've added prepositions yet, right?
No, we have not. And it was
there.
Indeed, Mike, you were correct about that. And I was also going to stop and say I'm so glad that you said the last name, because I just keep saying Mike K, because I wasn't sure how to pronounce the rest.
Yeah. Okay, so let's write that somewhere.
We have underneath, on page 22, we have our actual preposition list. I feel like that's the best place to list it.
Yes, okay.
Or mention it.
Write it underneath there.
Ooh, lineage. Okay.
What?
It's Mike Katalinich.
Are you serious? I asked him how to pronounce his name. Where are you getting this?
In the comments with the IPA directly from Mike. It's not somebody else suggesting it, which would have been really funny if I had fallen for that.
I guess I'm not seeing it. But anyway.
Oh, are you on the live chat instead of top chat option?
I am.
Interesting.
Anyway, I believed that I asked Mike how to pronounce his last name when we were conversing with voices, and I believe I said Katalinich, and I was not corrected. So
some people are just polite, David.
You're right, JC.
Oh, so now he just tagged you. Can you see the response he tagged you with?
Katalinich. Yeah, I see it. I would have made that T a flap, unless you really prefer Katalinich.
I think I did anyway. It's good. It's just,
Huh. Okay. Also, oh dear, it's black. Huh, interesting.
And yeah, he says he's going for a broad transcription, so the flap is good.
Okay. Got it. All right, so that is settled. So as I recall, this was essentially a side quest, right? Because I can't think of the real word for it right now. The main quest was something else. We were talking about negation, weren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing because that was what we said we were going to do. That was like the thing I decided on for our live stream last time, because we had several options, and I said, let's do negation. And we didn't make it.
Yeah.
We started a list about some clause structure issues, because we did need to decide how clauses were going to be treated. So, I mean, it all made sense, but at the same time, it was rather funny. Oh, there is a typo. How did this get?
What's it say?
Wow. Well, I changed it, but at the top of page 15, imperfective was spelled with the V before the I. Imperfectivi was how it was spelled.
Well, maybe it was just a clue to the meaning of the word because it was imperfectly spelled.
Although I always have to yell at my students, it doesn't mean it's not good.
Oh my. Okay, so I want to note that Pete Bleakley sent us a tweet that I saw and remembered but didn't think too much about until now. I'm looking at this again. He said that if we were to do some sort of pre-verbal negation, it would make sense to essentially do the same thing with our imperatives. And indeed, he is right. That does make sense because it's essentially a verb that gave us our imperative. So,
right.
If we had a standard pre-verbal negation, we would just do the same thing, and there wouldn't be anything special for a negative imperative. That said, we need to actually do it. So let's see. Rabbit ate the grass. Eat the grass. Good. And then, oh, right. But this is actually how we do it. I don't know what even all this is. Oh. No, I still don't know what even all that is, even. But I do know that this should be I, Kalbi Edulu. That's what it should be.
Well, we have, I'm trying to figure out what page you're on. Because we have the correct thing on the top of page 15.
This is 16.
Oh, well, the correct answer, that must have been our space of deciding what we wanted. Because the top of page 15 is where we actually have the imperative direct command.
The SODWWW, as it were.
SODWW.
Our space of deciding what we wanted.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was exactly what I was thinking when you said SODWWW.
Yeah, the sod.
Ooh.
You got to have the what on the end, otherwise people are think it's an ooh. You need to know it's a triple W. An overlong W, an Estonian W. Okay, that's good. Yes, I kalbi edulu, and I sugon huiba. Touch the bunch of berries with your whiskers. Right, and we were talking about bunch berries, and somebody brought up it was Mary and Bethune, and a good time was had by some. All right, important note: the form of the verb is invariant with respect to agreement and aspect. Good. Mm-hmm. This is still a note that we don't know what we're doing with. To smell something has an absolutive argument of a smeller. It takes an oblative argument for an object as an experiencer verb.
Isn't
so
that
we,
what
that,
we...
Yeah, that's what we decided.
We decided on.
That's what we...
And I think this note, because that note that you had just highlighted was something that you had really typed up
ages ago.
Probably 4 or 5 weeks ago, as just a note of what we had thought about doing for verbs. And so that was, I think, when we hit that and we started coming up with different verbs, and a lot of them were sensory, we had decided, well, we need to know how we're going to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I think we had wanted to get that done before negation. We did it anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe we were just at the end of the episode when we fell on it. I don't know.
It's done now. Good stuff. So I guess then we don't actually need this anymore. We don't need that note. We've established it. We're not going to forget it. Mm-hmm. We have witnesses. So that's good.
And it's in many copies of PDFs before this, so we're good.
And then I don't know why this is here, but I'm going to keep it in case we forget how this thing is reduplicated. Yeah. All right. So this was what? Verbs. Now negation is... Oh, Is this all a bunch of notes in the middle of the verb section? Just a bunch of crazy notes? Wow.
Yes.
I feel like we can't
These are honestly notes we need to keep. And
Yeah.
so we need to figure out where to write them because, for instance, one of them is our reduplication rule, including the step-by-step guide with the 5-step process right there.
Yeah.
So we definitely need it.
Well, that's a thing, isn't it?
Where we want to put it. I don't know. But it applies to verbs because that reduplication happens on verbs. So I think it made sense at the time to have the notes there.
Yeah, but they need to be written up in a way that somebody can make sense of. So I'll do that. This is just a note. We'll keep that in mind later. I don't know why this is here. And why polis? Is it a reference to the 100?
It was something... No. I swear it was a discussion that...
I don't know. Anyway.
I vaguely remember that it was based on something that we found odd. And then we're like, ooh, that should be the word for it. Yeah, and Johan had just said the one example sentences up there, the Ugan and Unugan, were from like episode 106 or 107, so like 10 weeks ago.
Wow. It's a while.
At some point I'm going to remember why we had wanted that particular to be weird or strange. But that is a word that we were thinking about.
It's in there. I'll get it in there.
Oh, Mike, thank you. It was based on how weird the band The Police is.
Weird. Oddly enough, I was just thinking of what's-his-face's Fields of Gold the other day. Sting's Fields of Gold. What a delightful song, isn't it?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you which one that is.
It's aimed at people our age, but that were our age like 20 years ago. Nice. So now we should find it very pleasing. And indeed I do. How about that? Well done, Sting.
Funny how time happens.
Yeah, way. I know. Goodness. My first friend turned 40 yesterday.
As in the first friend of yours who happened to turn 40, or the first friend you ever made in life?
No, of our friend group.
Okay.
And it really is bizarre how life takes you because I created a language for a musical that was supposed to debut this week in New York. And since it was so close to his birthday, I was like, why don't all of us go to New York City to celebrate your 40th birthday and do this musical? And and now it's like, not only did it not debut, there's a decent chance it may not happen.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And of course, I didn't see him on his birthday. And my next friend's 40th birthday is on the 20th. Not going to see them. Yeah.
Okay.
But then it's going to be a while. Most of us are turning 40 next year. Yeah. Anyway.
And I'll point out that you're going to be 40 before I will.
Oh, wow. Sting. Yeah, I am. I'll tell you what it's like. Sting is the arch nemesis of Applesauce Project, so please keep a note.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Take one look and say, wow, this guy hates Sting.
Gosh. That reminds me. That reminds me of a guy that I met in Germany who, far from hating him, was in love with Bruce Springsteen. He's at least 15 years younger than I am. And yet somehow he's just madly in love with Bruce Springsteen. And then not only that, Bruce Springsteen was coming to that very small town in Germany to give a concert the next year. And he was like, but I can't go. It's too expensive. I'm like, if there's anything to splurge on, you know, it's your favorite artist of all time randomly coming to your town. I still regret it that I never saw David Bowie. I mean, yeah, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I said that he should do it. I don't know if he did.
Yeah. And I do want to stop and
Yes.
just real quick, sorry, this is off topic, but Mateus, I'm so sorry that you're not able to celebrate with your dad for his birthday. But if he should ever watch this, shout out to your dad. Happy birthday.
Woo!
Do you happen to know how to say that in Dutch?
In Dutch? I mean, it's probably just like in German, except you just go...
Oh, I can't even deal with you. Well, viel Glück zum Geburtstag. Sorry, it's German, not Dutch, but that's
Is that how
the
you do it?
closest I've got.
Viel guten Geburtstag? Okay.
Viel Glück zum Geburtstag.
Guten, ja?
Yeah.
Guten, not
Viel
guten.
Glück.
Glück. Oh, Glück.
Glück.
Right, because it's happy.
Right.
And
it's like,
and for
viel
happy,
Glück is many wishes.
No,
many luck.
it's
much
like
luck.
the way I remember it, it's Glück because it's like a chicken and it clucks and it's happy.
Ah,
You know, Glück.
okay, yeah. Oh.
Let's see.
Verjaardag.
Oh, is that with a s? Oh, so gefeliciteerd met je is it with a ja? Verjaardag.
I believe it's a yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try again. Tell me how close I get. Gefeliciteerd met je Gefeliciteerd met je verjaardag. You know what? I pronounced that in a German way. I bet the V is pronounced like a V, isn't it?
Usually the G's actually have a
No, the V. The V.
Oh, the V.
I think the V is pronounced like a V. Ver.
Instead of an F.
Yeah, not an F. That's why it's so difficult when you're coming from German. It's got all these very specific rules that where it's like you don't pronounce this the way you think you do, right? And then it's like you get to these other Germanic languages like, oh, but here you do. Anyway, you can tell me how close I got, and then we'll try again and again and again and again.
The first G should be a velar fricative. And
I tried.
A V.
Maybe I didn't do it in my head, right? Gefeliciteerd met je verjaardag.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, trying my best.
I love Dutch.
I
need to add that to my list of languages I need to study more.
I feel jealous because I feel like no matter how hard I try, I could never be fluent in Dutch. Other languages I don't feel that way, but Dutch I feel like I could never do it. No matter how hard I tried.
But my experience with the people who speak Dutch is that they're all so lovely that they are just willing to work with you, and no matter how bad you butcher the pronunciation, they want to help and understand, and that to me is lovely.
That was my experience as well. Oh, I love it. Anyway, on the voiceless velar fricative, it depends the region, but it depends on the region. There are different ways, but G is a better way to say it is that G is pronounced like a voiceless velar fricative in many circumstances in Dutch. Kind of like a G at the end of the word in German, right? No, it's just a K, isn't it?
Yeah, it's either a K or some people very softly.
Yeah, Tag. What am I
But it's
thinking?
usually a K.
What am I thinking? Guten Tag, the very first thing you learn in German, of course. Never mind. All right, so what are we doing?
We are talking about all these notes that were here. Then we talked about the police and then Sting and concerts that you should go to if you can. And now I think we're ready to actually start thinking about negation.
Yeah.
We do, as you had said, need to figure out what to do with this whole section in terms of where it goes. And I believe this whole section below it is just talking about, well, first of all, where the stress goes once we reduplicate.
We don't need
but
to worry
also
about
just,
that.
Examples written out of how it looks.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that. So we just need to worry about negation. We can successfully delete this. We don't need that.
Right.
This was just our example of, let's see, the rabbit ate the grass and eat the grass. So that is the, this is standard and this is imperative because we're going to do, let's take this one and put it down because those, sorry, this is the equivalent of this, the negated equivalent. So Something that we could do, I wish I could just write on the screen. We'll probably get there one day. But something that we could do is say verb, argument, verb, and this would be an infinitive, and then arguments. And the way that this would work is that this verb would take this as its argument, which would have, it would be grammaticalized to have some sort of a negative force that has something to do with this. A usual way to do that, but something that I think we should not do, since it's doing too much other stuff that I don't know if it makes sense, is something like leave. So like, it's unaccusative, right? So, like the rabbit leaves, and then this is not conjugated. It's not a subordinate clause. It's essentially a zero nominalization kind of a thing. It's an infinitive.
Right.
The rabbit leaves eating grass. And so this will actually be the tense-bearing element. It would be a negative auxiliary just like they've got all over Finno-Ugric. And leave is a great one for that, because the implication is that they are leaving doing this, which means that they are not doing it at the moment, right. Which gets grammaticalized to mean they're not doing it. However, we've already used leave for the ablative, and I think also for the elative, like those prepositions. So I'm not sure if I think it just wouldn't happen. Anyway, so that's one potential for how to get sentential negation. Do you have some thoughts or intuitions or inclinations with respect to this one?
My first thought was turn, but I don't know if that would work just in terms of actually.
Ooh.
Like turning a body.
No. Like, you know that turn. The word turn, it does not only negation, it also does a lot of pejorative stuff.
Oh.
Just throughout languages. Like, turn is like the big bad guy. You throw turn on something and suddenly now you have a bad guy word. That happens all the time. So that's actually not bad. That's not a bad idea.
And just in case some of it, Anime Fan suggested fail. Joey suggested empty. O.W. Watson, lack or empty. Isaac suggested to scream as rabbits are prey. Alk to go out of, which is similar to leave enough that would probably not be the best option. Mike had asked about grammaticalizing try, as in saying they tried is like saying they failed. There is no try. There's only do or do not.
You know, that's actually a thing. One of the more embarrassing remaining errors in the art of language invention is when I was talking about cases, I mixed up a case with a verbal mood. And because there is a case where it's like you go avoiding something, so it's like, I went house versus I went hausa, and hausa means avoiding the house.
Right.
And I listed some incorrect etymological sources for that, because it was actually for the avertive verbal mood, where the word love is used to mean almost.
Oh, okay.
Like love or like. And so the idea is like, if you say like, I would love to go, it meant like you almost went, but did not in fact go. Went. You did not in fact go. No, you did not in fact go. No, I had it right. I know English. Okay. So, so try could work. It's not really a basic idea. Fail could be. Fail could absolutely work. Try is not basic.
Also hold,
taste is.
Drop. So hold, drop.
Drop is good. Drop is good. Let me start to write some of these things down.
Or Darren says a verb that means to jump away out of fear.
Maybe taste, try. Flee. And then I'm going to put in notes here, jump away.
And Matei says the love sources in Heine and Kuteva.
Yes, it is, and that, I just totally mixed it up. I just thought that case, So anyway, don't worry. In I've that it's going to be corrected eventually, but unfortunately, it's going to be corrected by simply being deleted. It's not going to be replaced with anything else. I do want to mention that I asked. When I asked for your thoughts on it, it wasn't so much let's start hypothesizing how we can do this. It was, do you like it or not, or do you want to do something else? Like, do you like this structure, or do you want to do something different?
I apparently liked it so much I ran with it and started coming up with other examples.
Okay, and that's fine.
I mean, I think it's good because I feel like we are doing, for what we're doing in terms of, because we use nouns for some other things, I feel like verb root is a good root for this because it's a more verby thing.
Okay, cool.
So it makes sense to me.
Okay.
Wesley, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Nope. Get out.
Okay.
And
so, yeah, this is
fall,
a pretty good set.
What about fall?
Oh boy. Oh boy. This is taking me down a significant rabbit hole. Yeah. Well, because okay, whoever recommended fall, I didn't see. Yeah, you could do, follow the senses there. And then you have the argument falling. But the thing is, fall doesn't take an obvious object. And then I realized, wait a minute, none of these are supposed to take objects because it only has one embedded argument. So then how do you draw the connection between the negated clause and the verbal clause? There's nothing there. Like you could fall from something. I suppose it could be old enough that it could simply just get carried along, yeah. But I mean, that made me think that should be something there to connect those two, which would be unfortunate in my opinion.
It really would be.
Yeah.
All right. So to think out loud then.
Sure. Oh, you want me to do that? I mean,
yeah.
For me, it wasn't like I was thinking of things. I was just thinking of like great conlangers and linguists throwing boulders at me and insulting me and making fun of me. Both past and future. It's probably not a helpful thought, but just that's what I was thinking of. Like, especially like they were on clouds and there was lightning and storms. They were just like throwing rocks at me, saying, "No, how dare you!" So that was what I was thinking. Didn't feel like I should need to verbalize that. Goodness.
You need some warm fuzzies over there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, I see what Super Hyson is saying, and yeah, that could kind of save it, huh? Couldn't it?
He drops in. Yeah.
Yeah. With the implication is that there's some sort of an and there, and
we
then
could do, instead of actually putting an and by and, the side by side. Like side by side. Assumed conjunction, sort of parataxis kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that is a really fancy linguistic word. I've heard it.
Out of all the fancy words you drop and mine that I get to drop to surprise you is parataxis.
I'm sorry. I know it has something to do with.
Oh,
I know it has something
it's
to do with.
how elements join, and if it's paratactic, it's like an and or something. It's equal enjoyment. So like a coordinating conjunction in English creates parataxis, but
Wow.
hypotaxis is where one gets embedded in the other, like subordinating clauses.
Oh, that's delightful. That is delightful. Not only that, that's the first time I've ever heard the word paratactic. It's
Really?
like, yeah, it's like, of course it makes sense. You can draw the analogy, but ooh, that was delightful.
But we could have
that was
we could
delightful.
have a paratactic construction
Oh my
for
God.
negation.
Oh my God. Mercy, I do believe I have the vapors. I'm gonna need something here.
As soon as you said mercy, I was about to say that sounded southern, and then I heard the rest of it. I was like, yeah, that was intentional.
Okay. Let me just starting to sweat a little bit here. Whew. Okay.
Oh no.
All right. Anyway, Copico.
Plug.
Can't wait for all the free Copico merch we're gonna get.
Yes. I want a T-shirt, really, so that way I can just every week rep them. Next week I'll just tape a sign on or something.
Or maybe just
make a sign out of tape.
Write Copico on your forehead.
Yeah, we discussed this. I don't think that's happening. All right, so Mike says, what if we derive a noun from the lexical verb as the single argument of the verb fail with the genitive construction of the agent of the lexical verb?
Yeah.
We stop and say, wow, that is a beautiful question with so much information packed into a small space. That's impressive.
Yeah. You could do that. I didn't want to do that because it's such a radically different construction from standard clauses that it might cause problems later on. And I try to keep things mostly clear for myself so that when I get there later, I don't, have to redo a bunch of stuff. It might be worth thinking about.
Oh, never mind. The message was retracted.
I saw that too.
I had a question, and I was getting up there, and then it was retracted. But
yeah,
maybe it's okay.
But
Adam pointed out it needed to be written backwards on my forehead if we're going to move forward with the Copico on the forehead bit.
But that was actually a good question. So let's at least write it out in English so that you can see what exactly is going to happen. So if we went this route, let's just let's say we have our negative here, rabbit, right, and then eat grass. Okay. That is so. This is transitive. Intransitive, negative, rabbit, sleep. So essentially, that ergative. The ergative prefix, or not prefix, the ergative, marker or whatever, preposition, it's not showing up anymore. It's not needed because this thing essentially becomes a subject as opposed to an agent. So, because here it is the ergative argument and here it's the absolutive argument. And so in negated clauses, we're essentially moving from ergative absolutive to nominative accusative in a weird way, and kind of like a quasi SVO word order. So now let's go ahead and try to tease this one out. Negative verb, and then agent. So negative verb. So negative eat grass. Ergative rabbit. I mean, that is basically as standard a construction as you get, except that this is not ergative. This is some sort of genitive. We'll have to figure out which one it would be. The only problem is that shouldn't this be there? Why is this getting underlined? It's weird.
Oh, where did it go? Okay.
In other words, if the rabbit is the possessor of this, shouldn't this be the construction? Then you kind of get grass hanging out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. And this would be if we did the sort of nominalization, right?
Yeah.
Because then we would need some sort of genitive. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't want to have to bother thinking about which one right now.
And so Chris had asked, what if the negative stays on an auxiliary verb, which would mirror sort of what we're doing kind of with imperative, how it's like it just sort of gets tacked on and then we get, the agreement doesn't happen anymore because it's the auxiliary.
Oh, I see. Jennifer Berry saying that eating grass would be the noun phrase. Yeah, you could say that. That could get really complex. Because after all, this essentially what you'd be saying is negative. Eat grass, right? Genitive rabbit. This can be any length, right? With relative clauses.
Oh, we've got a lot of discussion going here. So, and I think Isaac's way of saying it was like no eating of the rabbit. And Chris had said negation, grass eating as one thing.
Yes.
Legion.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing here. The problem is this thing can get to be of any length. And so what's going to happen is that heavy shift is going to, of necessity, force this thing after the verb in certain circumstances. Which, I mean, I don't want to, have a knee-jerk generative reaction, but it feels like you shouldn't be able to insert this thing in there if this is a noun phrase. I mean, my response to that would be, well, you obviously can in this, and so your entire theory is wrong. But even so, I don't want to go there if we don't have to.
I agree with what Super Hassan just said, that connecting it with and, or even doing it without the actual word and, just having it sort of together to the two verbs side by side, or even connected by some sort of conjunction, to be a form of negation. I think.
And I was thinking that the and would be implied. I think it would be implied, and so we wouldn't actually need to have a word for and there. I was just trying to think what implications that would have for the matrix verb. So let's think about that a moment. Negative, rabbit, and.
By the way, that means we'll have potentially asyndetic conjoining of these. Asyndetic, that's another. See? That means that you join things without an actual conjunction. No? Okay. Let me type it for you.
Yeah. Let me see what this word's supposed to look like.
Asyndetic. There we go. Versus syndetic means you have the conjunction. I promise. Oh, and Mike just said asyndeton is one of my favorite things.
Oh my God. Ugh. No, we haven't done conjunctions yet. We don't need to get there at this moment. I'm just going to. No, you're okay. I'm just going to highlight. No, I'm going to highlight this word so that we can always remember it. What's a good highlighty color?
Pink.
How about? Wait.
God, that's horrible.
Wait, no, that's not what we. That's not what we meant there. Let's do... oh no. Alright, I was trying to do a joke. Forget it. I was going to highlight it in black so you couldn't see it. Anyway.
Now it just is this brownish maroon color.
Yeah. Looks like... it
As
looks like
Wesley calls it, aggressively red.
It looks like those type of lazy boy chairs I used to see in the 80s. You know, that leather.
You mean the one that I have in my...
Speaking of which...
It's right beside my landline phone.
There you go. By the way, guess who was on Murder, She Wrote last night?
Megan Mullally, because I saw your tweet.
Megan Mullally. Wow.
Do you want to know what's really cool?
Mm.
In one episode of Matlock, he went up to a mansion, and it was the same mansion that they used in Rags to Riches.
Hmm.
And I was so excited. Screenshotted that to send it to my sister. It was a big day. Okay.
Okay. So, in order for this, we really get the and-then sense from this. Now that's the problem I'm having with it. That is something like, you know, it's a little weird, but it's not the way it has to be, I suppose.
My first reading was just the English participle kind of reading, and so I'm like, oh, it's a failed rabbit. It's an almost rabbit. Out of curiosity, why could we, or did you not want to do the same sort of strategy with the hop from the imperative?
I don't know.
In terms of basically it would leave the rest of the clause. I mean, not fully alone, because certain things. But just out of curiosity.
Hold on.
I'm so excited to see what you're writing.
There we go.
Somebody who I just saw it, Wesley asked, is that going to be how they describe the rabbits that don't become, cognizant in the world?
Oh no. Poor little guys.
Okay. So Super Asan says, like most of the Norwegian verb and verb constructions, they usually don't have eventive verbs as their first segment. And that would kind of stop the and then reading. Oh my gosh, but you have an idea, or you just need to stretch?
I got it.
Please.
It's the thing that always saves us. The same thing that always saves us. De-emphatic structure.
That's always a good thing. When you write that, do you put a hyphen between the D and the emphatic?
I prefer the New Yorker's version of putting a diaresis over the second E.
Love it. Bring back the dots.
Oh, but the rabbit failed eating grass. It's de-emphatic. So it's like, we went there, the beach.
Yes.
That's it. So the matrix verb is still uninflected. We still have our negative auxiliary. And it's still kind of a nominative accusative structure because you're talking about where the failure happened. However, you could flip it around too, couldn't you? The grass failed to get eaten by the rabbit.
That almost makes more sense given how we started doing sentences. I realized I leaned out of frame, sorry. Forget that I need to think about space. But that almost makes more sense given how you had originally conceptualized some of the sentence structures.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it makes more or less sense. It's just something that you could do additionally. The question is,
I don't know. For some reason, my brain is feeling that it jives more. However, I think I like the other version better in my brain, and so I'm torn.
I'm not suggesting one versus the other. I'm suggesting both at the same time. Yeah, it's just what's going to go there, since this thing is basically an infinitive. All right. A quick glance back. Where are our prepositions?
23, or is it 22?
23. 23. Here we go.
Wonderful.
And where are our genitives?
That was on page. What was it?
No, but like,
Wait,
it was at, wasn't it? It was at. That was the genitive? Our alienable possession?
Yeah, wait, that has to be somewhere up in the grammar section because we wrote a whole thing about it and we gave examples. We had to come up with words for it.
Yeah.
Here it is. It's on page 13. We have a whole section on it.
Okay, what's the alienable possession preposition? Is it at? Okay, so it is at.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I need to... Hold on. Just give me a moment. I just need to write this down so I can, like, see it with my eyes. So it's like...
There's something magical about the sound of pencil on paper. That's not pencil, though. That's definitely a pen.
What's something that's really obviously super intransitive?
Super intransitive.
Shoot.
Oh gosh, and everything I immediately thought of has multiple readings.
Wait a minute. No, that shoot. But that doesn't even make sense. No, because this is only something that's going to come up in a transitive construction, right? Yeah.
Oh, eternal sleep. Oh, that would also like cry. Anything we would feel and do ourselves. Weep, die, exist. Sigh. Oh, that's a good one.
Crushed.
Oh, sneeze. Eternal, you're on it. Do you think dab would be on that list? Killed. That's the thoughtful dab.
Pensive. No, you know what? It should just be the ergative. Yeah, it should just be the ergative. I don't even know why. No, it doesn't matter. It needs to be the ergative. And so we're going back to wherever I was, which was where?
We are on page 16, where we are typing negation notes.
Got it. 16. So no, this would just be, yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to do that.
Okay. So basically you can... Wait, we're looking at these two, right? All of a sudden I was like, wait, we
Yeah.
have more down below. But these two, okay.
And the reason why is that this thing is an alienable genitival construction. Because this thing is basically a noun. It's an infinitive. It's a non-verb, non-finite verb, right? And here, these things actually don't bear any relation. They don't actually bear any strict relation. And so there's no reason why it wouldn't just simply be ergative. I don't even want to use the alienable genitive for that. I understand that there is a kind of parallelism in that, but I don't want to do it because I just don't think that these two things are related at all. And so it would still just be the ergative if you wanted to do that. And I think that it could be understood. I think it could be understood. Now, the reason that these things both work is that they're intransitive. And so it's simply a semantic interpretation how this thing, this part, relates to this part. And that's something anybody can do because they know what part this thing is going to play in this verb.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it works. We don't need anything new except for this negative auxiliary. And it should inflect. It should inflect fully. And I'm not 100% sure if it should be further eroded, due to grammaticalization, or if it should just stand as a full verb all on its own that basically lost its meaning elsewhere. In other words, on the other hand, if it was an auxiliary, it could lose its agreement, and then you just have to use the full pronoun. Then there would just be two forms of it, the reduplicated and the basic form.
I always need to see examples.
Right. No, we should do that, but I want to ask you a question because it feels like it's something that you should know the answer to. The negated thing, the subject essentially, the one who is causing the thing to not happen, are they like in focus? Or is it very language by language? Like, is it special in some way?
In the way you're doing it here, or like in general?
No, like in general.
I actually don't know, because whenever you say something about in focus, I'm immediately thinking like focus being a special term in grammar.
That's exactly why. Oh, but you know
right.
what? Because this is a fronting construction. Well, not a fronting construction, it's a de-emphatic construction, which means that by default the thing that was not de-emphasized is emphasized. But it's like zero emphasized, and the de-emphatic part is -1. But
boy, I'm glad I got to feel really cool once I whipped out syndetic and paratactic, because, man, this is deep.
Well, because if that is the origin of this construction, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is that embedded is the argument of that negative verb, is it going to be accorded some kind of special status that would make it resistant to the englomening that happened that gave us our verbal agreement? Because if it is, then this thing would be essentially a defective verb that only had the basic and reduplicated forms and didn't have any agreement, if that was the case.
Okay. I cannot say with 100% certainty, but based on the fact that it would be sort of a marked word order, well, not sort of, it would be a marked word order given the overall makeup of the language, therefore it would be a focus element, is my interpretation. I could be wrong with the actual in focus argument type thing. But you're right that it being in that special slot, I think that some could be preserved, but I also know in English we have some things that get fronted that end up being...
Yeah. You know what, I hate to
reduced.
do this. I hate to do this, but I think we need to go to the wilds of the internet. And this is what I want to do. I'm just going to do... Give me French then, come on. Am I not typing it right?
I can't see what you're typing. I'm looking real close to the screen.
All right, linguistics.
Oh, you're looking for
de-emphatic
okay.
construction. And construction grammar. A pox on me. All right. I said that to the internet.
Yeah, it better not be to construction grammar.
No. No,
Okay.
I'm all good.
I thought you were.
No. Oh, goodness. Oh, now I'm embarrassed. No. I was definitely talking about the internet right there.
Okay, well then I take away my... Back in. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of confusion because, again, that got real deep and real technical, but using everyday terms, which means that makes it a hard conversation times 8 to follow. The crux of the issue is deciding whether or not this negation thing up front would be, eventually eroded over time to be something like what we have for the imperative, where it's, just an auxiliary thrown up front, not thrown up front, but instead of like actually retaining its argument structure, which means that it would be treated as a full verb in the language, even in the negation structures.
I think I've got it backwards. And I think that, in fact, there should be agreement in there. Because the thing that is being de-emphasized is a thing that comes first. And the emphasis is coming later. Or it's like the full part is coming later. It's being pushed, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason it's pushed is so that the first part can be quicker. And so I think that there should be agreement.
Okay.
But it's only quicker if there's a pronoun.
Right.
Otherwise, it's longer because the agreement, right, makes it. The agreement is unnecessary when you have a third-person argument. Really, what we're talking about is the third-person plural, because the third-person singular is, of course, just bear, so that's fine. Third-person plural is where it will be longer when it's anything other than the pronoun they. Would you like to put up some examples?
Yeah.
The only problem is that we don't have our verb yet. That's the problem. We don't have the negative verb, so we can't actually do like a full example. You know what I mean?
Just make up a fake word to stand in for now. And remember later that it's fake?
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the point where we're at. Bibleridian is asking about. No, we haven't decided on what the source of the negative construction is going to be, and it's kind of non-trivial. So we should probably do that.
I think so, because then at least we could put up multiple options.
Yeah.
And try to decide from there what looks better.
I've been thinking fail
Feels
because
better.
it's the easiest. It makes the most sense. I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. It's too agentive. I'm gonna get rid of that one.
However, can we keep that? I'm gonna write it down.
What?
A note somewhere where taste becomes the meaning try over time.
Sure.
Because I like that, and other people did too in the comments. That was kind of a cool, like, you tasted it. Try it.
Okay, let's put it up here because we'll eventually. I'll write it down. Okay, it's there. The reason why I like fail and the reason why I like flee, or something that means to jump, hop away, is because they're unaccusative.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my mind, fail is unaccusative. Flee is obviously unaccusative. And so that is why I like that.
Okay.
Fail makes more sense with this de-emphatic structure.
To be like, the rabbit failed eating grass. Like, failed at eating grass, essentially.
And what makes actually even more sense now, even though we got rid of it before, is fall. I'm sorry. It's back. It now makes sense with the de-emphatic structure. Fall makes a lot more sense.
I vote for fall.
I vote for fall, too.
And Applesauce Project was, when I suggested drop, I was thinking as if falling from a height.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't think a noun would work for this right now. It would require a lot of reworking. Fall works. We didn't happen to create that already, did we? We did.
One moment.
Ogo.
Oh, you already did? Okay.
Yep. We did.
I was so excited. I was gonna
It's Ogo. Ogo. Which would be.
Oh my gosh.
Oak.
Screw it moment. Because the negation's going to be no go. But without the end.
Um.
To decide, is there an ice cream truck outside my house?
That's usually the sound you hear before, like a great big shooting match starts in 90s action movies.
But the music would get all slow and warped.
Yeah.
That is bizarre. Okay.
So now here is the problem that we have. Of course, fall is already a full verb. And we have the entire conjugation, in fact. So let's go take a look at it. This is the entire conjugation pattern.
Yeah,
I don't
so well.
like
we have a whole
it.
chart for it.
I don't like it, but it's there. That's right, Isaac. But now I don't like it again. Oh man.
Oh, go good. Why don't you like it though?
Because it's just too much g-g-g in a row. Ogogun.
Ogogo sas. Ogogo sis. Ogogo sis.
Ogogun. Okay. So.
Ogogoyume. Oh, I don't know. That's kind of fun.
Ogogoyume. But the thing is, like, the first time I hear that, is I think that this thing's just gonna get elided. And it's just going to become
I think it would make sense, especially in the negation structure that gets used more, and that could actually differentiate.
Let's play with this.
The actual fall from the negation.
Yeah, let's play with this. Let's play with this a little bit. Let's have a little bit of chart fun. Now, here, I'll push it onto another page. If we...
And I gotta say, our commenters are okay with the go-go-goes for the most part.
I know. But if we were to further grammaticalize this... On. Wes.
Oh, I should probably actually scroll down to the page you're on. That way I can watch faster.
Oh.
I can watch faster. As if my speed of watching can be sped up.
Oh. Wesis.
I just was thinking that in my head. Oh, I finally got the...
Now for the...
I like this.
I like it too, but here's where we're going to run into a problem with the reduplicated forms.
Yes.
Apheresis. Oh my goodness. How is everybody coming up with these terms I've never even heard of? Do you know what apheresis is? This is...
that is when, just a second, it's the... I was going to say it's the deletion of the initial, right?
No, that's syncope.
Apheresis. I say apheresis, by the way.
Just as a reminder, the stress on these is initial. Unless we're stated. Sorry, go ahead.
I was right. It's the loss of the sound at the beginning of a word.
What? Really? Apheresis is?
Yeah.
What's syncope?
I think that's in the middle. Isn't that omission of sounds or letters from within a word? Like when probably is pronounced probably. So yeah, that's word internal.
Huh. Okay.
And then there's one for the end.
By the way, Mike Catalinich says negation verb can be defective and it doesn't need to be reduplicated, but I think that would be taking things a bit too far, because that's really the only thing our verbs do. However, what we can say is that this thing gets dropped, and that essentially results in kind of a geminate.
Although let's for a moment
devoicing dark horse, but I think you're right. Yeah.
If we did that same sort of lenition process with the G that happened on the plain form, could we get a form like wogun for the singular, because we get wogun. Like, could we...
Well, but you're stressing it wrong. Remember, the stress is on the initial syllable. Ogogun. And so, yeah, so Juniperberry, that is one thought. I was also thinking, though, if this might have happened before the voicing, we could have, right, whatever gave us that, right? We could end up having something like this, and it would actually end up being a K instead of a G. But I need to... Let me go review the sound changes. I just want to see when this thing becomes an O with respect to voicing. So that is diphthong simplification? No, before that. Hiatus resolution. Okay, Does intervocalic voicing happen before or after hiatus resolution? That's going to decide this.
Why am I looking at that screen to help you answer? Forget I have my own document over here.
I'm not finding it.
Okay, it is 16. Step number 16 is where they become voiced between vowels.
Okay, then I think it should be K. I think it should be K.
Okay.
Let me... Because you see what I'm saying here? Like, essentially what we've got is this. So it doesn't get the chance to voice because due to grammaticalization only, this vowel drops out. It drops out, resulting in a geminate, and the geminate, of course, simplifies to a voiceless stop. Yes. Okay. So yes, Dark Horse, you were absolutely correct. You were saying voicing, but it was devoicing. But I mean, yes, correct. It was the realm of voicing. Like if you had to call devoicing and voicing a thing, you would call it voicing, right?
Yes, you would.
That's so dumb. It's like it can mean something voiceless, or it can mean either.
Yeah. Kind of like how when you talk about like frontness or backness of vowels, it's like you always refer to it just as frontness in terms of the future.
I've heard...
They're sirens now.
Okay, I heard different. I heard it was backness.
Really?
Yeah.
I say frontness.
I mean, I thought that backness was standard.
Interesting.
But I'm not going to go out on a limb on that one. Obviously been introduced to a wealth of terms I've never heard of today. Clearly.
In other fields, they refer to it as depth.
Nice. Honestly, I feel like I should probably redo my bachelor's and reapply to graduate school. Hat in hand, saying,
just learn.
I'm sorry,
learn more.
I didn't do enough. Okay.
Oh no, frontness definitely shows up by itself. Vowel frontness.
La Wesh.
Backness does not.
All right. Reapplying now.
Or whenever he's out here, I'll have to see if he had the same.
I'm reapplying. Just whatever school will take me. I'm very sorry. Loesh is I'll use as part of my admission to the school my previous BA and MA. Maybe it counts for something. Oh my god. Man. Anyway, Loesh is asking about my Otter Pop addiction. I was wondering, do you know what Otter Pops are? Given the part of the country you grew up? Okay, you got Otter Pops.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, because didn't they always have the jokes on the popsicle sticks?
No, there are no popsicle sticks.
No, then I don't know what Otter Pops are, because I thought they were the ones that came in the popsicle sticks.
No, Otter Pop is
an ice cream treat.
An Otter Pop is a specific brand of freezer pop that have otters on the front of them. And the otters have names like Sir Isaac Lime and Louis Bluey and Alexander the Grape. They're wonderful.
Oh, those, yes. I do know those.
They're great.
Okay.
I don't feel ashamed of that at all. Okay. I really like this table. I think I'm going to put it somewhere else. I don't want to forget this note, but it's not really a good one that I would want to be in the final document anywhere. I'm going to throw it up here with our other explanation of reduplication, just so that I remember it.
The second person form of the reduplicated, Golden Pelt asked, should it be oquace with a W?
I don't think so, no. No, because remember, these G's are originally K's. And what happened is the K's got smashed together, they were geminate, and then they singletonized. That's a word, right?
Totally.
Yep.
You heard it here first, folks.
Are otters mice? I always refer to them as little cats. Or at least that's how I did it in High Valerian. Sea otters are ocean cats, and river otters are river cats. I like that.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
They're very playful.
Yeah. Little sweethearts. Okay, so this is eventually going to need to be somewhere here. I might change those colors because this is just me, but I like my tables in this section to be black and white. In the quick reference section, they're in color.
Right.
That hateful word. I don't even remember what it means. Syndetic?
Syndetic means you have a conjunction. Asyndetic means they're joined but no conjunction.
There shouldn't be a word for that.
But it makes sense why there is, because they're two different strategies.
Then just say what the strategies are. Using a conjunction or not using it.
I have to have real names in the phonological rules. Now you're willing to just say what it is when you don't know the word.
Syntax.
That's my jam.
Oh, gosh. All right, so we are close to being able to write this up. The only thing is now that we've done this, now we need to revisit our negative imperatives.
Yes.
Okay.
Yikes.
I don't even know where this leaves us.
Because our imperative came originally from the verb hop.
Oh. Yes. Yes, it did. And so what that means is that the negated form, this is going to be weird.
Hopful?
Yeah, it'd be something like negative argument I. Actually, that's kind of cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And these are all going to be second person. I
feel like the argument up here is always, like if we're saying don't eat the grass, I feel like this is always going to be grass. Because when you're ordering somebody not to do something, it just seems sense to be more in that construction of don't let the grass get eaten.
Nikes, I forgot about that. I'm sorry. You're right. There's another. Okay, because I was thinking intransitive. Then we also have. Oh, this is weird. Wait, where's the verb? Because where's the verb? Where's the verb? Oh my God. I forgot about the verb.
How'd you forget about the verb? Was right here.
I just wrote that. I just wrote that right now.
Oh, in my head, it was already there.
That's very kind of you.
Mateus says languages are better without verbs anyway. And if you guys haven't read up on, what's the name of Sylvia's language
Kaylin.
Without verbs? Kaylin. It's a very interesting thought experiment.
Yeah. And then here, put a smiley there. Also.
Ibi Tudukaga said Phineas and verb. I very much appreciate that.
Nice.
Oh, yes. There we go. Thank you, David.
Yeah. Pronounced Terriamar. I thought that was nice.
That's nice.
All right. I'm doing Fruit Loops on this thing. I am just not. So let's talk about negative imperatives for a moment. There are
Just a second. Can I
sometimes.
just change this so that way this is the actual word and it makes sense to me?
No problem.
Thank you.
There are times when negative imperatives have absolutely no relationship with positive imperatives. Uh,
Hmm.
the obvious example that comes to mind is Turkish, um, where when you say like eat the fig, it's eat the fig. If you want to say don't eat the fig, it is like the fig is not to be eaten.
Okay.
Um, the only reason I bring that up is because it would be a really lazy way of getting out of this problem. So we wouldn't have to think about
Wait,
this.
just out of curiosity though,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
down below your beautiful green chart, which will not be green after a while,
Yeah.
what if the top strategy is for just statements and this strategy is specifically for negative imperatives?
But
Where it's
where?
like the grass, you know.
Well, remember that this is essentially. Oh wait, it's the same thing here.
Second, I think I'm gonna have to go close the laundry room door because a new load just got started and it's rather loud.
I can't hear
Can
it.
you hear that?
No.
You can't? Okay, then
Can
never
anybody
mind.
else? Because the thing, I also have computer noise over here, so that could be part of it. If you can hear the laundry, let us know.
Oh, no. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I'm sorry. I'm seeing what you're saying because, of
Hmm.
course, unless we're doing weird, funky things with like some sort of imperative voice or whatever,
Right,
we're only having the one argument.
right.
Right.
Because you is essentially, it's going to be understood because it's the imperative.
Yes. Right. And yeah, you've been hearing Meridian singing. She loves to sing. It's wonderful. Like one of her favorite go-to lines for a while. I haven't been hearing it lately, but one of her favorite go-to lines was "Please be an animal."
Please be an animal.
Yeah, it's just like as she was singing out, "Please be an animal." It's just great.
That's
I
amazing.
don't know where it came from. Um, so
Does she like the Muppets?
we haven't really done the Muppets.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we did Sesame Street.
Okay.
Um, and she did like Sesame Street for a while, so she watched a lot of Sesame Street, but not of late. We are actually tonight going to watch the last episode, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, wonderful. Now, is this the original or Cora?
No, the original. This is her
Okay.
first watch through.
That's
Um,
amazing.
and yeah, like I couldn't believe it. We blew right through it. This is the last episode coming up. She
It's
just,
because it's so good, you can't help but keep watching.
yeah, that was a gosh, man. I was rewatching some of that. I guess as we rewatched some of it, we mostly did seasons 2 and 3 because I forgot a little bit about season 1. I was like, oh wow, this show was already really good in season 1.
Yes,
Kind of
yes.
forgot. Yeah.
And I would, by choice, be an earthbender.
Yep. We've already had
Just,
that discussion.
just want to make sure you remember. Okay. So, moving on with imperatives.
um, so I'm not comfortable with. So this is. Um, no, because right. But then it doesn't.
Are you breaking down?
It's breathing. It doesn't agree with that. It agrees with the object. If that's the thing that's going to be pulled out, right?
Hmm.
Is edula plural or singular?
Plural.
So that would be don't eat the grass.
Okay. Suddenly having like a brain workaround. Would wait. Oh, because it has to agree with the.
Yeah.
Sorry, just a
Uh-huh.
second. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. You seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah. But I need to remember why we made I the way we did. That it never agrees with anything.
Because it's second person.
But that doesn't fully make sense.
And so now the S of the second person S only shows up when the following verb begins with a vowel.
Right.
And so that's still where the imperative force is. It still rests in that little particle.
Because we left Kaubi Edulu as the unit. The reason this is different is because Edulu is actually an argument of that verb.
Oh, so you're see, that's right. You're saying that we have that same sort of inalienable genitive construction with I Kaubi Edulu. And so now it would be a little strange to pull that out. Is that correct?
That is indeed what I'm thinking. Although also, if we did what I was originally saying, which is the strategy down here, I don't think I would be present at all. Because essentially it would be a different construction altogether.
Which strategy?
Oh, sorry, the word order shifting to basically indicate that this is a negated command. So the negation grass eat, and then we wouldn't need to have an argument after that because you would be the understood argument of eat. And so like this highlighted portion here, the negation grass eat would essentially be the entire negated.
Well, with nothing else written, with no other marking or anything like that. Sorry. This would mean you ate the grass as well as don't eat the grass. It would mean both. Or I'm sorry, you did not eat the grass.
Okay, I was like,
right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I thought I missed a step. Okay, yes. Okay, so that means you did not eat the grass.
So if we didn't do anything else, they would mean the same thing.
Okay, but this implies that you are the argument it's agreeing with rather than the edulu.
Yeah, absolutely. So that wouldn't make any sense. It would have to be sauce.
Okay.
And so that would mean
Osas edulu kaubi. Okay.
I mean the grass wasn't eaten.
Okay, yes, okay, cool. That makes sense. Okay.
Right.
Interesting. Not sure how I feel about that. Okay, so if we did something instead, like the strategy that we have up above for eat the grass, and essentially we replace the I with the, wes or okes down here, we could get like wes kaubi edulu means you singular don't eat the grass, and okes kaubi edulu, y'all don't eat the grass. Don't do it.
Not quite. It would be wes and wesis.
Yeah, it sure would.
Yeah.
It sure would. I skipped over color when I did that.
Yeah. Now, we could do the same thing that we did with ahe, uh, which is, remember, because we had ahes versus ahesis, and we just said those forms collapsed and the S only shows up. So we could do the same thing with Wes. The only question is, would it make sense? Let's write it. So it'd be like Skabi Edulu. And we have something that begins with, I'm sorry, that would be wet Kalbi Edulu, right? And
if we did the same strategy, we would drop that S.
What's I forget what's the verb that we used that begins with the vowel ugon huiba.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that make sense? This means fall.
Mm-hmm.
You fall eating grass. You fall touching berries with your whiskers.
Such a long translation.
Yeah. And really the only thing that's not happening is this thing isn't pulling out in front, but essentially it is out in front because it's you. Right? What does it actually look like? Wait a minute.
Oh, wait. Super Asan just pointed out way is also a pronoun.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. But how do we actually say you didn't eat the grass?
Oh, and that would be way. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Wes.
You didn't eat the grass would be O edulu. And then whatever pronoun is for you.
No, wait. No, but that's only one way of doing it. That's only one way of doing it. This is how.
Oh, sorry. We are still keeping this one here? Okay.
Yeah, so actually this is kind of interesting. So this would mean don't eat the grass, okay? This would mean you didn't eat the grass.
Okay.
So, and then this would mean either. So don't. Or. Okay, so Hueso huiba, since it begins with a vowel, would mean both don't touch the berry bunch with your whiskers and you didn't touch the berry bunch with your whiskers. I think that this is okay because it is rare that these things would ever be confused.
Right.
I mean, it's never a case where it's like, did you just order me to not do that, or were you just telling me about something that I didn't do in the past? That just that doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, to be quite honest, if you want to talk about confusing, talk about the fact that many American speakers say can and can't almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
Which causes confusion. Like, I can go, I can't go. Like, I
can.
It's just like barely different, and so many times you have to stop and go, wait, what did you say?
It went from can and can't to kun and can.
To really you can't. Oh.
So I think this is okay. Not great, just okay.
Juniper's not a fan. And Dark Horse and Isaac, yeah, I see like that. Those were what I was thinking. Although I think those comments came out after our discussion, but that was exactly what I was thinking in terms of how the sentences would end up coming together, but then I forgot that we had a special negation strategy under the chart. Even though I'm the one that kept pointing to it earlier, I just forgot it existed. It's okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think it works.
Okay. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow, we are in the last 19 minutes.
Yeah, I know. And I need to actually write stuff.
And we also need to think about what the patrons will be voting on.
Yeah, I know.
In terms of decision.
Goodness gracious.
Dark Horse is pointing out that we can almost translate your rabbit dream into Ingala.
Yeah, we need some more vocabulary, but we're getting very close. Oh my goodness.
While you're typing,
yes,
I'm gonna pay attention, but I'm gonna scroll through the document because I think I remember seeing a few things more highlighted that may give rise to things that could be voted on during the week. Okay, maybe we didn't have. There's so many random notes. Develop demonstratives, period. And then we have them all below, period.
We haven't discussed copulas yet.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Which means we haven't decided if there is one.
No, we haven't. I mean, that would be kind of a big one to just leave as a vote, but
as a big vote, just copula or zero copula.
Yeah, we could just leave it to a big vote and then be stuck with the results. Copula or no copula, that's it. That's the vote.
And that's a big decision right there.
Yeah. I mean, we already are not using a copula for adjectival stuff. So we don't really have predicate or predicative adjectives. Whichever one.
Predicative.
Predicative, thank you. Predicative adjectives. We don't have predicative adjectives. We have adjectival predicates.
Yes, yes. That's gorgeous.
Goodness gracious. Okay, so this is standard.
Oh, some suggestions.
Yeah.
Perhaps thinking about votes for an interrogative particle. Never mind, there was just really that one suggestion. I think the others are all comments on what we could call the copula. We have not talked about questions, but that would also be a difficult, besides just saying, do we have an interrogative? What should be the interrogative particle?
Okay. Rabbit did not.
We also, I feel very much that instrumental is going to play a big role. I just scrolled down to the adverbs, and I always think instrumental is a good thing to have before we tackle adverbs, just in case we want to do that kind of strategy.
Oh, but we do have an instrumental. Remember, the oblative is the instrumental.
That's right.
Yeah.
We discussed that not less than 2 hours ago, and my brain is already fried.
Alien versus predicate. Maybe rabbits never ask questions.
They always just know things, you know?
They're very wise, those rabbits. Not the pirate rabbits, though.
No, so they do need some sort of question.
In general, the ergative. Okay, the ergative.
Oh, Fibleridian says the interrogative auxiliary could be conjugated like it is in Turkish.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything can be conjugated in Turkish, though.
Well, you know. It's all conjugable.
Let's see.
How is that a word?
Conjugable. Adam could that be what was the word for read in Turkish? Had a show. All right.
One moment, I'll look it up in Google Translate. Oh, this says it's okumak.
Oh, with a K?
That's what it says.
Really?
O-K-U-M-A-K. Oh, Billeridian agrees.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Dark Horse just suggested that the word for bad is negdevi.
Oh no, this isn't a real one. Oh darn. I'm gonna have to. Okay, the absolute argument of A. Yes.
I feel like I need to reread several times on my unergative, unaccusative argument structures. I feel like that's something I need to bone up on better, so that way I'm not always like, wait, which one is that? It's the problem when you know words, but you don't deal with them every day.
Okay. And then now, if I can just ask for a quick little refresher. What happens when we pull out the... What's it? You know what I mean?
What's it? When we pull out the what?
Ergative's still there, that's right, because it's not a part of it. Right. Okay.
That's what you were asking.
Yeah.
I was like, is this a formatting question? Why would you ever ask me about your format? I don't know.
Okay, and so that is... let me just do a quick one of that. And then negated is anime. And then O edulu, except that it's osas. Yes. Okay. And then
now wait, Kalbiasas would not be that anymore.
Right? No, it wouldn't. I'll fix that.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'll fix that on both will. Okay.
As you should be.
Yeah. Okay. So Calby. Okay. Beep. And boop.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Oh, and then there.
What I do? Because now it. Yeah, you're right. Yes. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
All right. Oh man. Okay.
Got this. I still didn't come up with an idea for what to vote on though, because even if we tackle some sort of interrogative kind of question, I don't know how that would be worded in a way that it would be.
I mean, there's.
A good vote.
Let's have our copula be the fallback.
Okay.
That's our punishment if we don't come up with something better in the next 10 minutes.
Okay, what about just the strategy in general for questions? Whether or not we're going to have, say,
Oh,
we could just pick one of the words on the list. Whether or not we're going to have, say, an interrogative particle separately, or whether we're going to be one of those languages where you essentially just replace the thing that you're questioning with a particular sort of nominal argument without having it be any sort of special question verb construction.
okay. So let's separate out yes, no versus WH. So we're talking about WH questions specifically, right?
Yeah, that was a WH question.
Okay, so WH questions. So we'll have WH words be in situ. So our examples, I think, are in situ, fronted, or some sort of an interrogative auxiliary. Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
does that work, or is that just with yes, no? I can't remember. It's been so long since I studied Turkish.
Dark Horse also says that we could just vote on the word for sassafras. That is the
true.
ultimate
That's true.
backup poll.
That's true. I remember the reason we stopped and didn't do anything is because I couldn't wrap my head around what sassafras was or what part of it would be encoded as a vocabulary item.
And then we started researching it, and yeah.
I still don't get it. I still don't have any idea. It feels like some sort of grass to me, but I know it's not.
No, but we had said that in general, the way we use it is
Yeah.
the bark and the root tend to be
Yeah.
more, although the leaves can also be used. But as a rabbit, I feel like the leaves would not be as important because they're way up there, right? So
Yeah.
the bark and or the roots, which they burrow under all the time, they may be like harvesting some root underneath. Yeah,
Sassafras root.
right? It would have a very distinctive smell and use, I'm sure.
Wesley, in situ means, oh, somebody's explaining it, but essentially in situ means that the word doesn't move. So rather than saying what are you eating, it would be you are eating what. Except that, well, in English, that is special emphasis. In many languages, that's just the only way to do it, the standard way to do it. And we can do that.
And Dark Horse says sassafras would just be the spirit of the tree, the whole thing.
Ooh.
It's very deep.
That it could be the tree is so fragrant and lovely that they come up
Right.
with a word for the whole tree and then separate compounds for the parts of it.
Yes, and it's very special.
Oh my goodness. We could do an open-ended poll, like, the same that we did for the other ones where we were choosing the
Yeah,
glyphs.
where it's, and then
say-
like the ones that you like,
Yeah. Yeah.
or that you want to vote for, I should say.
Yeah. Kind of like that, actually. It's a nice break.
And it gives us time to think more before throwing ourselves into another syntactic construction without thoroughly thinking through options. To have a poll.
Destinova, it is not necessarily related. I don't think there's a correlation between WH fronting and headedness. But
Interesting. I
if
would
anything,
have to look that up. I
you
don't.
and Chris would know better. But the one of the reasons that fronting is always a thing is because language is one-dimensional. And so there's always going to be the first thing you say, no matter what the headedness of the language is. Anyway, we're going to organize option of these constructions. And then, when, just type in here, keep going. Keep thinking your thoughts.
Keep thinking my thoughts, my random thoughts.
Yeah,
my current thought was that
Yeah.
my stomach growled really loudly, and I was hoping nobody could hear it because
We all heard it.
usually it's quite. I almost said visible, but that is not what I meant.
Audible?
Hearable? Audible? That
yeah.
would be. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. It's been a long day. My brain is starting to very slowly go in shutdown mode. And yeah. So what are you typing? Where are you typing?
It's right below the other thing.
The other thing. That is so incredibly...
Yeah. I want to see what I wrote up here. That's with the positive command. That's when it precedes a verb that begins with a vowel. There are some examples.
Oh, because we didn't give examples of the other one. Right.
All right.
Although we did, we just didn't explain them, because down below we have the Wesugun Huiba.
Yeah, so positive. I'm doing it. And then negative.
Kuni2 Kaga says, if your stomach visibly rumbles when you're hungry, eat. I will, as soon as we're finished. I don't think...
No, we're not done yet.
You all just watching me eat would help at all.
And don't touch the bunch of berries with your whiskers. Okay, good. That's all written up. That's all written up. Yeah. Yeah, good. Good, not great.
Okay. It's... You know what?
Yeah, it was a Simpsons reference. Do you remember this one? It was one with
No.
It was one with George Bush. He's typing up his memoirs, and he says, "And since I achieved all my goals in one term, I had no need for a second." And he finishes his memoir and says, "Good memoirs. Good, not great." And Bart destroys them. What? You don't the grass?
I don't the grass all the time. Oh my goodness. Oh, Harrison. Hello to Australia. That's quite exciting.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
You're probably at like 5 or 6 in the morning right now.
Yeah, what time is it in Australia right now? Is it like 12 plus 6? Or something? I'm so sad. I was going to go to New Zealand this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Mario from Vienna. Oh, it's always so exciting to find out where people are. It's 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Yeah, that's nobody should be awake at that time. My condolences, Harrison.
Okay, I've been up since 5:30.
Disgusting.
Probably why my brain is slowly shutting down.
Yeah. Kind of weird that we have Australia and Austria here at the same time.
Right?
I've been to the airport in Vienna. I've always wanted to visit the city. It seems nice.
The airport was good.
It was.
Oh, and Joey's in New Zealand. It's 11 o'clock there.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It is significantly later. Huh. I was going to be in New Zealand in Wellington.
Okay.
Which is like not one of the two places that has the major airport. We were going to have to take like a 16-hour flight to one of the major airports and then change planes to go to Wellington.
Right. Gotta say, so we also have... Oh, where did it just go? I just saw it. We have Moscow. Here. I'm guessing Jan Pona, since most J's around the world, except in English, or is it John Pona potentially? But that's cool. Applesauce Project. You're hearing me. We've both been up for far too long.
Здравствуйте. It's been a while. since I've done Russian. But I still remember it all.
That's impressive. Oh, and Vinicius says to come to Brazil. So, yeah.
I
Oh, Isaac, are you in Brazil?
Oh wow. I would like to get to at least the southern hemisphere once. This was going to be my first time going to New Zealand. It was going to be my
Oh,
first time in the southern hemisphere.
that would be exciting. Um, oh, and Joey's pointing out that Yanpono is a Toki Pona name. Um, Something I wasn't even thinking about because I just see usernames and I think read it like the name.
Yeah.
Oh well, hello Isaac from Brazil. That's exciting. And from Alabama, you're not too
Yeah.
far from me.
Alabama, I have been to. I was there last year, so I don't know where you are, but I gave a talk in Birmingham, Birmingham, Alabama. The
Mateus is in Berlin. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just
oh.
excited to see all the locations. Fresno.
Oh, I'm so
Mateus,
sorry.
I didn't say the wrong language, right? You're in Berlin, but you speak Dutch, right? Well, I mean, you probably also speak English and German, but I wasn't asking about the totally wrong language, am I?
So I was in Paris last year, where, you know, and I was also in Illinois last year for SalukiCon. A Saluki is a puppy. I didn't know that.
Oh,
But
I
yeah,
thought you just made something else.
no.
Oh, okay, good, Mateus.
But
For a moment, I had a panic, like, oh my gosh.
But Jacob, I did want to let you know, I absolutely commiserate with you, know what you're feeling, because I lived in Fresno for a year. After I grew up in San Pedro, and then we moved to Fresno for 1 year, and then moved to Orange County where I came to stay. But my goodness, Fresno, freezing cold in the winter but no snow, and then burning hot in the summer, and then there's no spring or fall. That's it.
I live in a place with 3 rounds of summer and like a week of winter, so winter.
Yeah, but I have to say, like, if I was forced to choose a place to live, I would choose Nacogdoches over Fresno.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. No, I really don't. I don't envy you, sir.
And Wesley, are you in Colorado right now?
Yeah, that's where all my relatives are, and that's where you have. That's
Yes.
yeah.
I have people, and that's where I used to live. Oh,
Yeah.
I do miss Colorado.
Yeah, it was a good place. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, I think we're done. And so what's going to happen now is I'm going to let Jesse say stay grammar, and then we're just going to sit here. I'm just going to sit here and stare for a little bit to make sure that I do not cut her off. All right? So.
And hope that this time the lag also does the same thing. Otherwise, you guys are going to be watching us stare in silence. So here we go. Stay grammar. Ba-dum.
All right, I'm seeing myself waving, so this had better be good.
So this is it. It's